In this video, I'm going to talk about every MMO I've ever played and then give off impressions of them. Now, just because I like a game or I dislike a game doesn't mean it's a bad game, right? There are some games on this list that I'm absolutely going to destroy. There are games on this list that I didn't make it past the tutorial. And there are games on this list that I absolutely fell in love with, but the internet hates. So that being said, this is every MMO I've played. I do think it's fair to say what got me into MMOs. And the game that got me into MMOs wasn't even an MMO. It was Destiny. Okay, so Destiny was the first game with the end game that I played, and I understood it for the first time. You power up your person, and then you step into like the raids and things to get the best loot in the game. And only the elite players and only the hardcore players who participate in this gets the rarest loot. And I really liked that system, and it triggered something in my brain. I'm like, well, I need to play more games like this. What is this genre called? And Google told me it's an MMO. Destiny's not an MMO. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the genre of that is MMOs. And with that introduction out of the way, let's start with Black Desert. I want to enjoy Black Desert because it is just beautiful. The grass, the dirt, the water, the goblins, the character customization, everything about it is just so appealing to the eye. But I'm just too stupid to play this game. I get to that little village, and then I have no idea what to do. I get so confused. They want me to talk to everyone, and they want me to fish. They want me to, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to kill. I don't know how to continue the plot. And I just wish I was smart enough to enjoy this game. Also, where is The Guardian on Xbox? It's almost been a year at this point, and he's still only on PC. I really want her on Xbox. Bless Unleashed. I didn't get too far in Bless Unleashed. Something about it felt really clunky. Something about it didn't feel right. Unresponsive. Yeah, I don't know. I was done in 10 minutes. Terra. I really enjoyed Terra. More than I should. You remember at the beginning when I was talking about games I liked that the internet didn't? Terra was one of them. I loved Terra. The combat felt smooth. It really did feel like true action combat. I would have stuck with it more, but I did that stupid corn feed mess up. And I couldn't progress anymore, and then I kind of quit. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. One of the few MMOs I made it to endgame with. I wish it was still alive because I wish I could still play it. But Terra. Love Terra. ESO. Elder Scrolls Online. This one's kind of stupid because I enjoy the game enough to always buy the expansions, but I never play them. I bought the Elsewhere expansion last year. Never figured out how to start the stupid quest to get there, and so I gave up on it. And then I heard they're bringing in Skyrim, and so of course I bought that one. I'm too stupid to get to Skyrim. I wish I was smarter. I'd be a really good MMO player if I was smart. But seriously though, ESO, I did enjoy ESO. The combat feels like Skyrim. I've never got to do any of the multiplayer stuff though. I've done dungeons, but I've never got to do trials or anything like that. Mostly because I play it on the Xbox, and finding a raid group on the Xbox is pretty difficult, even with LFG. And so I really can't sink my teeth into ESO as much as I could other games. But yeah, it's fun. It's enjoyable. I wish I knew how to start the expansions. Next. Skyforge. Never made it past the tutorial. Next. Rift. Never made it past the tutorial. Next. StarTreck Online. I tried it on the Xbox, and I remember making a character, being all ready to go. And I don't think this is the game's fault, because at the time, my brother was into this game, and he wanted me to play this with him. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. And then, of course, life happened, and he started to work a different schedule, and I never got to play it. One of these days, I'll give it a fair crack, but I never got to play it. And speaking of cryptic, Neverwinter. I have an entire video on Neverwinter and my problems with it. But pretty much Neverwinter is like that attractive girl you get excited for, but then you realize she only knows how to talk about one thing. And so you just kind of get bored of it after a while. That's Neverwinter. Next. And of course I'm going to talk about PSO. I feel like PSO is a bit different from an MMO. While most MMOs you grind through the leveling process and then you get to endgame, I feel like the appeal of PSO is you get to play endgame content throughout the leveling. The urgent quests are like raid bosses, and you don't need to get to endgame to enjoy the best parts of an MMO. And I feel like that's the great appeal of PSO, is that you get to enjoy the best parts of an MMO throughout the leveling process. And here's where we get to the two giants. We'll start with Final Fantasy first. So, I'm really enjoying Final Fantasy. I did a whole video on the story. While I don't think the story is as good as the internet says, like to me, it's just another Final Fantasy. And I do have a video on that. Feel free to watch that. But the game itself is actually a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the crap out of it. I tried it last year in November, and the leveling was so hard to do. I couldn't get to level like 50. But they released that 5.3 whatever revamp thing, whatever thing, a jig, where they cut like 30 quests out and they speed up the process and they boost your experience and things. It was a lot easier to get to Heaven's Ward that way. And I'm really enjoying Final Fantasy. It looks good. It's fun. I really like the areas. Except Udall. I hate Udall. Screw Udall. And I do have plans on continue playing it. I did my first raid a few nights ago. I got a lot of flack. I did get a lot of flack because I had no idea what I was doing. But, it was fine. It was fun. I am going to continue playing PSO. I wish I could record it, but again, laptop and OBS are like fire and water. Oil and water. They just don't mix well. Alright, well, here's the finale. Are you ready for this? World of Warcraft. I didn't like it. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't like it. But something about it felt so... I don't know. I can't even put my fingers on it. I don't even know what I didn't like about it. Maybe it was just how mainstream it was, but even then, I enjoy Final Fantasy. And Final Fantasy is pretty mainstream as of right now. I can't. I don't know what I don't like about this game. I've tried. Maybe it's just because I don't have the patience to get to endgame. Maybe it's because I just don't like the graphics. I don't think the graphics are that bad, though. I just cannot, for the life of me, find that individual thing I don't like about this game. Sorry, guys. I'm just not a Warcraft dude. I love MMOs, but not World of Warcraft. If you made it this far into the video, then I thank you. I never expect a lot of views. I usually only expect like 11 or 12. 40 on a good day, 100 on a great day. But, thank you for watching all that YouTube stuff, because a channel as small as mine, likes, comments, subscriptions, they do help, but only if you want. I usually don't say that because I feel like I'm just wasting air. But you do what you want, and I'll do what I want. Thanks for listening. This is my rant about MMOs. Artifact out.